Hello, my name is Maka Chkhaidze. I'm from Georgia, and I'm also CEC ArtsLink Fellow. I'm the founder and director of the Inclusive Dance Theater Group in Tbilisi, which is called Inform Platform for Inclusive Minds. And it unites artists with and without disabilities, and we work on the joint dance and theater performances. It was actually exactly 1 year ago when we people living in Georgia finally realized that our lives won't be the same as it was before. After the election fraud and after our Prime Minister announced that they quit and stop all kinds of negotiation with EU about the candidacy status of Georgia, which was a historic chance for our country to get closer to the European Union and through that get some safety and security, we finally understood that our lives, our present, our future doesn't depend on our choice, doesn't depend on our decision or any independent institutions, but it depends on the decision of very small group of people, which can be eventually narrowed down to the interest of one person. Hundreds of thousands of people went in the streets protesting and demanding fair elections, and unfortunately it turned out to be one of the most violent protests in the history of Georgia, and this violence unfortunately was committed from the side of the government. The whole country was paralyzed and we couldn't think of anything else but being on the protest and defending our present, our future. And especially culture and artists became like a biggest target of this movement. All theaters got on strike. Lots of artists, cultural practitioners got arrested. And we all thought that it is not the moment of creating art now, it is the moment of fighting. But at the same time, I work with the people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And the way they express their concerns and their protest, it is not the standard way as we are used to. They don't go to protest, they don't demonstrate, but you feel how they experience the environment through their talks. That doesn't go publicly necessarily because they are the most unseen and unheard group of society. So participants of my theater company started talking a lot about death, about war, about nightmares that they have. And then I realized that for us, for our group, this is exactly the moment to start talking about these people through performing art. And then we started working on the performance that would reflect and that would give the stage to people with disabilities to share all these concerns, what makes their life very complicated. So together with our partners, Inclusive Dance Company from Germany, which is called Senec2, we started working on the joint performance, which is called Volks. So this performance, as I told, on one hand, it was the reflection of reaction on the current situation in Georgia, and not only in Georgia, in the world. But on the other hand, we wanted to create some kind of protected territory, which would be filled with lots of solidarity, love, and care to each other, which would save us in these given circumstances. Instead of going to the standard theaters, which we would normally do, we chose and decided to present this performance in the rehearsal space where we are based. So this is late Soviet building, which doesn't really look fancy. And when you enter this building, safety probably is the least that comes to your mind. But that was very symbolic because in that moment, it was not about building and walls, but it was about us, people, getting together that was bringing the feeling of safety to each other. And by inviting audience to our performance, we were inviting this audience to this protected territory that would also comfort them in this very challenging time for all of us. I asked our participants to imagine what is that makes them safe, what is maybe from their childhood, or they can imagine some space or story that brings the feeling of safety. And we created some kind of spots out before you would reach the performance stage. There were several spots where the audio recordings of the stories could be heard. And it was a very important sharing from our participants how they feel and where they feel safe. And I want to read very small text of one of our participants. Her name is Tamar. She's 28 years old, and she's the person with intellectual disability. And this is how she imagines the safety. I imagine the large room, and I'm not alone in it. They are there too, but I can't see them. And I'm crazy and wild. I'm wearing a dress, I'm barefoot, and there is a rope tied to me, and I'm running with this rope. I hear the noise of people. Maybe someone comes close, but I don't see them, because I am in my own element. But I hear their voices, a bit frightening, as if they are screaming, calling out to me, come, and I cannot go, because something stops me, because I don't want to leave my element. That's where I feel safe, a bit calm, a bit anxious, a bit crazy. I want to show you a small trailer of this performance, if we can turn on the video. Well, actually, in 2 weeks, we are taking this performance on tour in Germany. This is the first time that our company goes for tour internationally, and I think I believe that this is the first time that inclusive dance performance from Georgia will be shown internationally. So you can follow us on Instagram and support us. Thank you very much.